I'm sure you've heard the news. There's a new place to find all things regal and exciting. Welcome to Royal House. Here, at Royal House, we're all about bringing you the finest content fit for royalty. Whether you're a history buff, a lover of luxury, or just someone seeking something new and engaging, this is your new home.
Breaking right now, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle say that they are distressed. The poor poppets. By what they brand attack in Vanity Fair magazine. Well, let me just say for one moment, I think the people who probably have a right to be most distressed are their staff members who were bullied into submission to the point where they have had to seek therapy. Perhaps the executives at Spotify who wasted £20 million on ludicrous ideas like sociopath Prince Harry interviewing other famous sociopaths like Vladimir Putin. And look, you know I hate to say I told you so. But if you've been watching Outspoken, this isn't a surprise to you. None of these revelations are new. In fact, you can argue it's shameful that it's taken the mainstream media 5 years to catch up. Especially, of course, when it comes to the Sussexes' marriage. Because while friends may tell Vanity Fair that Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are still, quote, hot for each other, what on earth explains Ms. Markle selling the rights to her post-divorce autobiography? So look, what we're going to do today is take you through this article, decode it with the insight and analysis from my coverage of the Sussexes over the past decade, and the brilliant According to Taz, who, as you know, on her YouTube channel, she has been well ahead of the game on this story. So let's kick off looking at this Vanity Fair cover, which they brand inside Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's big business ambitions 5 years after their royal exit. Now, a little bit of context, of course, there is some bad blood between Meghan Markle and Vanity Fair after they ran the cover wild about Harry, and she later tried to, in some way, link it to racism, of course.
Ladies and gentlemen, the royal drama just took another explosive turn. Dan Wootton, the man known for breaking some of the biggest royal bombshells, has now dropped another shocking revelation. Meghan Markle may be working on a post-divorce tell-all book. Could this be the most controversial royal memoir yet? Stay with me as I break down what Wootton has uncovered, what this means for Prince Harry, and how the royal family might react. But before I dive in, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an update from Royal House. So, what exactly has Dan Wootton revealed? According to his latest bombshell, Meghan Markle is allegedly considering writing a tell-all memoir, one that could expose new details about her life post-divorce. Now, let's be clear, this isn't just any book. This could be the most explosive royal memoir ever, especially if it covers her alleged struggles with the royal family, her marriage to Prince Harry, and if rumors are true, the breakdown of their relationship.
And that effectively, Harry said, I had a very bad childhood trauma. My mother was essentially murdered. What it is about me that didn't make me one of these bad guys. So he genuinely thinks that he isn't a sociopath. Quite funny that. But as the article went on to implore a season's worth of world-famous sociopaths to talk about how they develop sociopathy would be what is referred to in access journalism as a booking challenge. So let's pause there and bring in According to Taz. Look, we absolutely knew, Tasha, that things between Spotify and the duplicitous duo, the effing grifters, as Bill Simmons described them, had gone terribly wrong. But isn't there something absolutely fascinating about one of the world's biggest sociopathic couples planning to do a podcast about other sociopaths, but the hook is, we're not sociopaths, guys, you are.
Yeah, there's certainly a lot to laugh about with that in itself. I mean, if Harry wanted to do interviews on sociopathy, he certainly wouldn't have to go as far as America for Trump and
Just knock on
Zuckerberg
the
or
bedroom
Russia.
door next door. Or actually, probably
Exactly.
the bedroom door on the other side of the house these days.
Yeah, I mean, just walk into the marital bedroom. You've got your perfect subject sitting right there. I mean, to say that they're sociopaths is it, and Harry doesn't understand why he's not one himself. I mean, it's delusional at this point. I mean, obviously, he's really pushed at every opportunity that his mother was essentially murdered, as they quoted. But it's just they go from one thing to the next, and you just think he sounds like he's losing it more and more. I
Well, he
mean,
definitely
how
is.
anyone could ever think.
He definitely is, Taz, because the article goes on to say that the Spotify executives became so desperate that Harry once came to their office in Los Angeles and asked for a cup of cocoa. But there was none in the office. So the employees scrambled to obtain some. And the article says an idea was pitched to Harry. What if he reviewed a hot chocolate every week while chatting with a different friend, which he and his team considered and rejected? Another concept was that Harry would fix something every week, ranging from a flat tire to global warming. But of course, the Spotify employee said there was only one podcast he really wanted to do, Tash, and it was about disabled people who compete in the Invictus Games. But as they said, there's no crossover between the audience who would listen to that and people who want to hear about Harry's life.
I mean, you've got to be desperate, haven't you, to think that the only thing that you can do to get them to do something is to review hot chocolate every week. And let's be honest, Dan, I mean, how many friends and celebrities would he even be able to get in the chair to talk about hot chocolate? Harry's friendship circle has dwindled just as quickly as their popularity, because the first thing that Meghan did was separate him from his family and from his friends. Anyone that could maybe talk sense into him, she made sure that they were the first to go. So he would have been pretty limited. There would definitely be more choices of hot chocolate than there would be of people to Harry to be able to interview.
Very
that's
true.
For sure.
Very true. And look, while this article does tend to focus on Meghan, and of course we'll get to the damning revelations about her shortly, it really does pick up on this entitlement.
Wootton has sources close to the situation who claim that Meghan sees this as her chance to finally set the record straight. But the big question is, will she throw Prince Harry under the bus? If Meghan really is planning to write this book, where does that leave Prince Harry? We all remember the fallout from his own memoir, Spare, which sent shockwaves through the royal family. Could Meghan's book be even more damaging? Some insiders believe that Harry might not be on board with this move, especially after the backlash he received for airing private royal matters. Others suggest that if their marriage is truly on the rocks, Meghan might use this book to regain control of the narrative, painting herself as the real victim in the relationship. What do you think? Could this be the final nail in the coffin for Harry and Meghan's marriage? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. We all know how the royal family handles scandals. Silence is their strongest weapon. But if Meghan goes ahead with this book, could the firm finally break that silence? King Charles, Prince William, and even Queen Camilla might have to prepare for another media firestorm.
That is completely cloaked with everything that Harry does, because it goes on to say that during the interview, this was a job interview, a potential employee said Harry's attitude was either, well, why should I do this? Or why are we doing this? And the interviewee says they wondered, didn't Spotify pay you a lot of money to do this? And then a person inside the couple's circle, and I think this gets to the nub of the issue, explains he looks like the kind of guy who would frankly happily work for charities for the rest of his life and would be very happy if Meghan made all the money and he didn't want to. But the problem is Meghan's friends were also slipping away, because there was an expectation, according to the article, that Meghan would be able to use her personal Rolodex to book the show, the way hosts like Simmons and the Pod Save America guys do. The person who worked in media projects said the assumption was Meghan's going to be on the phone with the Pope tomorrow. However, they didn't want a bar of it. Taylor Swift turned her down, we knew that. But new in this article is the fact that Beyonce and Meghan the Stallion were also asked to come on the show and declined. So the point is, these big stars, Tasha, these genuine stars, these stars who have a lot to lose, don't want to be connected with Ms. Markle and her crappy projects.
Well, of course not. The world of celebrity works that if you attach yourself to a very bad project, even if it's not your project, that you will be tainted, you will be tarred and feathered alongside when it fails. And it was clearly obvious that Archetypes was going to be a snorefest before the first episode had even aired. Beyonce, I do wonder whether she might have turned that down because she got pulled into Netflix through no choice of her own. Remember, she'd had apparently sent a text message to Meghan that Meghan conveniently got at that moment that they were being filmed for Netflix and read it out. And I can't imagine Beyonce, while she might have sent that, probably appreciated her name being dragged in too, which was essentially a 6-part episode attacking the royals. But as for Harry, the undertones of his attitude being in the meeting, he sounds like a lazy teenager. His attitude of, why should I have to do something? Why? It's like a child being told to clean their room. This is not a man. Well, it's not a man, really, is it? As I said, like mentally, he seems to be stuck at a teenager. He wants everybody to do everything for him. And that's maybe how Meghan quickly came in and cleaned up as quickly as she did, because Harry just allowed her to technically swoop him off his feet. And it doesn't paint either of them in a good light. And the fact that so many celebrities that are well-known celebrities are not interested in being part of whatever, I don't know, pony show that they're putting on next.
The royal family is already dealing with enough drama, from King Charles's health concerns to the ongoing tensions with Harry. A Meghan Markle tell-all could bring another major PR disaster. Will the palace issue a response, or will they stick to their usual never complain, never explain approach? One thing's for sure, this book could force them into damage control mode like never before. Now let's talk about Meghan's real motivation for writing this book. Is it about revenge, or is it about redemption? Some believe Meghan feels betrayed by both the royal family and the British press. If that's the case, this book could be her way of getting back at those who she feels wronged her. But on the flip side, others argue that this could be Meghan's attempt to repair her image after years of bad press. After all, Hollywood has distanced itself from her, public opinion is shifting, and major deals like her Spotify contract have fallen through.
Very, very good point. Very good point. And the thing is, Meghan had no bravery either, because according to the source in Media Project, she would agree to provocative ideas and then walk them back. So she wouldn't actually say the word bitch. She called it the B word. An episode titled Slut was retitled Human Being because she had to reimagine it late in the production. And the source says every episode got more and more watered down and further away from actual conversation. It felt like very women's and gender studies 101 taught in 2003. And I thought that was a great way to sum it up. So that's the Spotify deal. But then you start getting to the juice of Meghan's bullying. And a little bit of context here. I had, of course, revealed right back when she was in the royal family that the reason that Meghan fell out with Catherine, the Princess of Wales, was because of the way that she was bullying staff at Kensington Palace, the way that she would speak to staff members. And then, as the time went on, I reported on the fact that there was a Sussex Survivors Club with all of the people who had been bullied by Meghan. You know, the nannies, she went through 3 nannies in 6 weeks. I mean, there was a litany of this stuff. So this isn't new, but why it's so significant is this is Vanity Fair. This is the establishment publication confirming what reporters like me were attacked for by the Sussex Squad, received death threats from for the Sussex Squad. So let's go into what Vanity Fair decided to report. So they say, the source who worked at Media Project says Meghan's own relationships with employees tended to follow a similar pattern. She would be warm and effusive at the beginning, engendering an atmosphere of professional camaraderie. When something went poorly, often due to Meghan and Harry's own demands, such as a teaser for Archetypes being released 5 months before the show premiered and before there was any tape to promote, Meghan would become cold and withholding toward the person she perceived to be responsible. The source says it was really, really awful, very painful. They go on to say, because she's constantly playing checkers, I'm not even going to say chess, but she's just very aware of where everybody is on her board. And when you are not in, you are able to be thrown to the wolves at any given moment. In practice, they say that manifested as undermining. It's talking behind your back. It's gnawing at your sense of self, really like Mean Girls teenagers. But it gets worse. 2 sources told Vanity Fair a colleague with ties to Archetypes took a leave of absence after working on 3 episodes, then left Gimlet altogether. Several others described taking extended break from work to escape scrutiny, exiting their job, or, here's the key line, they bury the lead in these articles, undergoing long-term therapy after working with Meghan. The person who interacted professionally with her says, I think if Meghan acknowledged her own shortcomings or personal contributions to situations rather than staying trapped in a victim narrative, her perception might be better. They added with a soggy laugh, but who am I to criticize Meghan Markle? She's doing great. So there we go, Tash. I'd been saying it for years and years and years. This is a woman who claims to be leading the Be Kind charge, but in fact, behind the scenes, she is a big-time bully. And she can sue me if she's not happy with that, because believe me, there'd be a heck of a lot of people wanting to give evidence.
Could this book be her last attempt to regain public sympathy? So there you have it. Dan Wootton's latest bombshell has left us all wondering, is Meghan Markle really writing a post-divorce tell-all? And if so, will it be her biggest PR disaster yet, or her ultimate comeback? One thing is certain, if this book happens, it will change everything. Now I want to hear from you. Do you think Meghan will go through with it? And how do you think the royal family will react? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And before you go, don't forget to subscribe to Royal House and turn on those notifications so you never miss the latest royal updates. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.